On another night where the Rangers got their fill in Philly, another six-pack to savor. For the second time in 2 months, the Rangers score a half dozen down the turnpike. 6-2 the final, Rangers over the Philadelphia Flyers. Hi, everyone. Welcome inside our Delta MSG studios alongside Henrik Lundqvist and Steve Alliquette. I'm John Giannone. Before the game, Henrik, you called on the Rangers to show certain qualities, even though and maybe especially because of the situation they're in. How many of them did you see tonight?
A lot. You know, obviously, you look at how the team is playing. That's one thing. But to me, it's about the effort. It's about the battles, the 50-50 pucks. And we talked about that after the first period, how many battles they actually won all over the ice, especially offensively, that led to goals and great opportunities. And that, to me, kind of stands out. Where is this team right now mentally? Like, what type of effort will we see tomorrow and the next 20-25 games, even though, yeah, it looks pretty much impossible to make the playoffs, but we talked about the important stretch here for a lot of the young players to develop and to feel good about the game. It starts with the top guys, in my mind, what type of energy they bring, what they're saying in that room. But they showed up. I loved a lot of things in this game, and starting with the battle level. Yeah,
and Steve, we talked before the game about if there is a veteran for whom the young players should look to for leadership, it's Mika Zibanejad. And I think tonight was a 60-minute clinic of exactly what you guys were talking about.
Certainly, and I also think that Mika, he needs to receive the puck to be able to score. He's not a guy that's going to walk through the entire team himself, but when he gets himself into positions away from traffic and positions that really are helped by the other two guys, you know, he's able to come in with timing here on the game's second goal, his first, because he knows when to flash into the slot area. And the way that he's able to collect a puck in the corner and then feed it to Lafreniere, that's his first assist of the game, that's a one-timer that it's a goal you can keep because of the way you finish into the upper part of the net. And when you're talking about being able to extend yourself away from the net and score off the one-timer, I'm always talking about how Mika is the best shooter in the league when he receives it from one side of the ice to the other. It makes the goaltender open up, ends up on his backside. It's an advantage for Mika, but he's not going to do it himself, but he's got the young guys now that are finding ways to find him.
And you see, at any time he receives a pass or when he takes a shot, his hands are so loose. He just looks very confident, very calm. Anytime he gets an opportunity, even the pass to Lafreniere in the slot, it was a perfect saucer. And then the shot, you know, sometimes if you're struggling, you might go wide with that shot. He took his time to just make sure he knew exactly where he wanted to put that shot. But to me, again, his consistency this season has been so much better than last year. It looks like he's having a lot more fun when he's playing.
That's a big part of it.
It's a big part of it. You have to enjoy when you're out there, no matter what. And just his calmness and confidence right now, I think, is also important to this young group.
Yeah, let the record show that Comcast Spectacor owns the Flyers, but so does Mika Zibanejad, especially in Philadelphia, and especially this season. When you consider what he did tonight, 2 goals and an assist, he leads the Rangers in both those categories. It's the 6th time that he has had a 3-point game against the Flyers. Jean Rattel had been the only Ranger who had done that. 50 points in 52 career games against the Flyers. And look at that in his last 5. More than 2 points a game on average. Remember, he had a hat trick. The last time the Rangers were in Philly, they scored 6 that day as well. That was 6-3 the final. Tonight, it was 6-2. So Mika Zibanejad was the leader of the team tonight. And you know what? His young winger mate, Gabe Perrault, followed right along because he had a goal and an assist and really was around the puck a whole lot of the night.
He's just getting more comfortable. And, you know, this is starting to take on a life of its own, too. It's Lafreniere, Zibanejad, and Perrault on a line. And how much more can they push themselves to this level of consistency where they continue to get scoring opportunities? I talk a lot about unsettled offense, and that's why you have those quick strike plays. Comes off of a forecheck, comes off of broken plays or back checks. And I think that gives itself the opportunity to get on a power play. Why? Because you're making the other team check you harder and oftentimes take penalties. The pass that Perrault makes here to Zibanejad, that's a set play. And oftentimes when players are talking, during practice, on the bench, they're looking at their little setups and what the other team's giving them. It doesn't always come from the coach, and that's good to see. A young guy being able to talk to Zibanejad and say, here, this is something I see, and then be able to connect on a play like that.
Yeah, speaking of talking, let's hear from Gabe Perrault. Scored his 6th goal of the season for the Rangers in this 6-2 win in Philadelphia.
I think we kept it more simple in the past couple games. I think we were trying to get pucks to the net, and I think we kind of generated off those shots and kind of got them out of position.
You guys are pretty physical as well tonight, the way you guys kind of took it to the Flyers, and just look at the way you guys kind of set the pace early and then just continued through the entire game.
Yeah, we wanted to have a good start. I think a couple of the games recently we've been getting scored on early, so that's kind of what we focused on, and obviously we got a couple early on and kept going the rest of the way.
It's such a finicky thing. What makes it work for you and Alexis and Mika? Why have you guys been so successful?
Yeah, I think we're all pretty smart players with good IQ. Those two guys they're unbelievable. They made it super easy on me. So I've been playing with Mika for a while now, and he's been unbelievable from the start. Kind of taking me under his wing, and it's been awesome.
Where's your confidence level? I mean, is this as confident as you've been since you've been here?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think, like I said, game by game, I feel like I get more and more confident, and that kind of helps with getting other players' trust, the coaching staff, and believing and being confident in myself as well.
Yeah, you heard Gabe Perrault talk about how he thinks his 2 line mates are smart players, and that's always been the book on Gabe Perrault, is that he brings a very high hockey IQ. Where do you see that most manifest, Steve, on the ice?
Well, I think that right now, John, the opponents help. And the fact that the Rangers, you and I were talking about this before the show, they only have 1 game against a playoff-bound team this month. How good is that for the young guys? It's an opportunity. You're always looking for time and space to have more opportunity, to have more time with the puck on your stick, specifically on the power play for Gabe Perreault. But how does that blend into his 5-on-5 game? It allows him to have the confidence to make maybe 1 extra play than he wouldn't be able to make if he had Dallas, Colorado, all Minnesota, that type of a road trip on the schedule. This is the right time of the year for him. The timing is right for him to make plays.
Also look at how he's adding value in this game, for example. It's through the forecheck that leads to a goal. It's through a very skilled play on the power play. And then you have his goal, where a lot of his opportunities is around the net. He's not the biggest guy, but he's playing a big game right now.
Yeah.
I just love to see that when players have more than one dimension to their game. And again, adding value on the forecheck and skilled plays when there's room for skilled plays. But the fact that he can add in so many different ways, that's a great sign in a young player.
And he's an absolute sponge alongside Mika Zibanejad, who was one of 7 Rangers with a multi-point game. Let's hear from Zibanejad after the win.
Always nice when you get that type of lead. You get that type of start. We talked about it before the game. So usually when you talk about the start before the game, it goes either, you're up 3-0 or down 3-0, and luckily we're up 3-0 this time. So yeah, obviously feels way better winning than losing. So the stretch that we're in and the situation that we're in, I think all that we can do is try to win and play our asses off, and I thought we did that today.
High praise from Gabe Perrault about the chemistry that you two have built over the last little while. What can you say about his game?
Yeah, he was saying, I felt like he was forced to say that when I was standing right next to him. No, I mean, he's seeing the skill and stuff, I think it's been pretty evident for everyone, but just the way he sees the ice, the way he makes the plays. I mean, the power play goal is a perfect example of the way he makes the play, and yeah, it's just little things. The more he plays, the more confident he gets. I think he's really good with, like, if plays don't go our way or whatever happens, he keeps going. He keeps trying to make plays, and he's learning from it too. So it's been awesome to play with him, and yeah, I'm happy I get a chance to play with him.
What did you make of that backwards pass that he had?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of funny part is I was actually expecting it. So the way he just postured up, and I feel like he saw me, and the plays before that from Laf and Foxy and Troach to make that play open, I think sets him up pretty well. And yeah, it was unbelievable pass by him, so it was good.
3 or 4 from the power play.
We have seen Mika Zibanejad join some of the illustrious names in Rangers history. Check this out. He now has 302 points on the road in his NHL career, and every one of the names above him and even the one below him, legendary Ranger names in this centennial celebration season. Mika Zibanejad 7th in road points. He had the goals that made it 2-0 and 5-1. He assisted on the 3-0 goal, the star of a 6-2 Rangers win.